Hello and welcome to I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit 2, the Summer of Sequels, a show where we discuss sequels from our childhood, our nostalgia from watching them as kids, how these franchises got made yet again, and our experiences rewatching them as adults. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Warner, and joining me as always, Matthew Pelton.
Well, first of all, hi.
Hello.
But two things.
Okay,
Famously, we've done like 60 to 70 episodes of this show, right?
we just crossed 75 episodes.
You don't have to tell me that. That's crazy.
So insane.
That's insane. But I never got the intro until like a week ago.
Right.
Like I now have it memorized.
Good.
And the second I have it memorized, you change it.
Right. Okay, well,
What the
let's
fuck?
put that to the test. Do you want to do the original intro right now?
No. Okay, you know what? Okay, let's do it. I can do the intro.
Go ahead. I just did a modified version, so at the very least,
Yeah,
you
you
get
did.
some
You
sort
fucked
of...
me. So if I'm off my A game, that's why. That's the only reason why.
All right.
Okay. Hello and welcome. No, what is that little face? Why are you making a face?
I'm just watching. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello and welcome to I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit, a show where we rediscover.
No.
Shut up. Hang on. A show where we. Fuck. What is it? A show where we talk about. We rediscover movies from our childhood, our experiences watching them as kids, how they got made. Oh wait, and our experiences rewatching them as adults. I am one of your hosts, Nick Warner. That was good.
That was maybe like the second. I feel like you've gotten closer on other episodes.
I definitely have. You fucked me. You changed it.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
What is it?
That you came in with all this confidence that you had it.
Dude, that's how I live most of my life.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit, a show where we discuss movies from our childhood.
Oh, whatever.
Our nostalgia from watching them as kids, how they got made, and our experiences rewatching
them as adults. I was like 2 words away.
I guess. But you can't come
I
in.
even said your name.
Yeah, okay. I would be way more concerned if you forgot my name in the intro.
Did you? Okay, you're probably gonna cut this because you edit the episodes. But I want if this stays in, I want people to know that when we started this show, this freaking bastard made me sign a greenlit contract, and he was like, "My name always comes first. I get to say Nick Warner. Matthew Pelton's always second fiddle, second banana." Okay,
it's because I do the intro. I'm introducing myself first. I'm the first person you hear speak. So the people have to know who's talking to them.
That's not true.
And then I bring you into the show. I'm not going to go, and here's one host, Matthew Pelton, and then you talk, and then you're like, oh, Nick Warner's your dude. It's like, yeah, no shit. I've been talking the whole time.
Listen, all I know is that Emerson College, me and you lived together, and when this show was birthed, I came to your room and I said, I have a great idea for a radio show and I want to do the intro and host it. And you went, yeah. And you wrote this fucking evil contract and you get all the revenue. You get your name first. You get the copyright. I get nothing.
Wait. Are you making a claim on what, episode 76, 77 maybe, that you came up with the show for the idea for Greenlit?
Yes. I'm putting that out into the world right now.
This is absolute blasphemy.
No, this is true.
What went wrong in the world? What did I do to you that you're now changing the lore of our show, the truth? You're speaking nonsense into the world.
That is not. Tell me I'm wrong.
You are absolutely wrong.
Okay, out of the 3 things I said, your name is first. That's correct.
Yes, that's right. Because
you make all the money, and I came up with the show. All true.
We don't make money. We make negative money.
Yeah, we're in the red by a lot. Yeah, it's really bad.
And I came up with the idea for the show.
We made some really bad investments over the years. We're really fucked. You know what? Listen, my back really hurts today. I think I'm just taking it out on you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this is gonna be most of the episode.
You need me to feel a little bit of pain so you could feel like we're on the same level.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. Yeah.
Well, I'm 24. My back shouldn't hurt.
I mean, to be fair, I also have back problems and I've had them for like a decade now. So like,
I
think I'm worse off. But
Is this just one of those things where it's like if we're hurting now, we're just gonna be fucked by the time we're 50?
oh yeah, we're cooked. No, by like
We're
35.
cooked, right?
Yeah, we're
By
absolutely
like
cooked.
25, it's
Yeah.
over.
Give me like my
I
birthday's
fucking-
on Wednesday as of this recording, and like I by the time I turn 24, I'm done. It's over.
Yeah, I just told you I sent you a birthday gift in the mail. It's a fucking wheelchair. Happy birthday, dude.
Great.
Fucking old man.
Well, I don't feel as old because the movie that we're talking about today is only from 2008. So I don't feel
Okay.
too old.
I think that
And
segue
it's-
worked.
It's from our childhood, 2008. I don't feel horribly old. The movie we are talking about today is Open Season 2. So we're continuing the string of movies from our childhood that not only have we watched the sequels of, but also that we've covered on the show. So obviously our Open Season episode came out, I believe, during the summer sessions. So the predecessor to this series a couple summers ago, I think now 3 years ago.
You don't have to say that out loud.
And from what I remember about that episode, that was like one of the worst. Like, I was so miserable that episode. I was just like, I don't want to be talking about Open Season, even though I do like Open Season, and I like was very like I spoke very highly of it, I believe, on that episode, because like I think I came in with more nostalgia and I had a better time with it than you, from what I remember. Because I think you just hated Elliot.
That's correct. Yeah.
But I remember just being absolutely miserable during that episode, and I was like, I just don't even want to talk about plot. I'm done. So coming in with more positive energy to talk about Open Season 2, because we also have a very special guest later on in the episode. And for the people listening, probably already see the title, so we're pretty pumped about that. We'll get to that in a moment. Talking about childhood stories, though. Pelton, have you ever seen Open Season 2? Was this on your radar?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
That's fair.
But I will say my memory of Open Season, especially because you're right, we covered it a couple years ago at this point, and I did rewatch it for this episode. I rewatched the first one, and then I watched the second one for the first time, to my surprise. But my thing with Open Season, my biggest complaint, and the only reason I remember this is because we did a clip for Quaywood not that long ago of it.
Yeah.
Is it was like that whole range of movies back in the day, like 2002 to like 2012 or whatever. Basically anything that qualifies for this show, all childhood movies from that era, they tend to follow the same kind of like one serious main character and then like the annoying sidekick character. Right. And some just do it really well, like you have like your Shreks, and then sometimes, because it's baked into the stereotype of like a cliche annoying character, that could either go really well or it's really annoying. And for me, Open Season, I think because we just did Shrek too, Open Season was on like the complete other end where I'm like, no, this is just annoying. Like I didn't like it at all.
No, that is completely fair, and I'm curious to see if that that dynamic and the way you look at that dynamic has changed at all during Open Season 2.
Maybe
We'll see. For me, I saw this on DVD a couple times. And the reason I know that is because the water park scene in this movie, I remember so vividly. And actually, when we were coming up with the idea for Summer of Sequels, I was like thinking about the movies that we had covered, and I was like, Open Season, I know there's like 3 or 4 sequels, but I so vividly remember this one water park scene, and I honestly had thought it was like Open Season 3, Open Season 4, whatever, a couple other iterations of it. But then when it showed up here, I was like, oh, it's this movie. So I've definitely seen this one a ton of times. But outside of that, I didn't really remember the plot until I started like really watching it. And I was like, okay, like Mr. Weenie is more of like a main character in this one. And then like, yeah, then the water park sequence was like the real thing that stuck out. But what I remembered as well, as I was watching this, is I was like, oh, I think I've seen almost all of the Open Season catalog. Like all of the shorts, all of the movies.
Really?
Like I had the video game of Open Season. I don't know if you remember or ever played that.
But, maybe. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, and I don't remember if like you played as Shaw or as one of the characters, and then you went up against Shaw. But I remember that so vividly, and I don't think I brought it up in the other Open Season episode. But I wanted to bring it up here because I was like, man, like Open season was such a huge part of my childhood. It's like
Well, you know, it's like-
unbelievable.
Okay, I don't know if you agree with this, and I could be wrong, to be fair, because I'm not super connected to like kids' movies nowadays. You know what I mean? For obvious reasons. But I feel like out of all the big franchises from our youth, like Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, Open Season, maybe you could argue Chronicles of Narnia, but even then, like Harry Potter, the big boys, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Open Season, you could argue, is like the most forgotten one.
Sure.
Like, Open Season kind of stayed in, like, the early 2000s to 2010s.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of it. Like,
Yeah.
that's not really a thing anymore. I guess maybe Madagascar, but even then, I feel like the penguins are still around.
Madagascar, yeah. I was gonna say Ice Age, but I know Ice Age made like fucking $10 billion. So I
Yeah,
don't
that thing's insane. That's
But
like a juggernaut.
for me, it had like such a steep fall off where I was like, oh, Ice Age,
That's
and then
fair.
Ice Age was gone. But like in the
Yeah.
cultural, like, but yeah, as far as like Open Season goes, like, yeah, it is an interesting one.
Well, also, didn't like the company that made Ice Age, like, go out of business?
What?
I thought isn't it like Blue Sky or something?
Oh yes. And
Yeah, they're not
they
around
did
anymore.
like Rio and like that. Yeah. That's so interesting about that company because
know.
of how much money those movies
They made so much money and still somehow went bankrupt.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you know what? Okay, I was about to make fun of them, and then I'm like, out of all production companies that are in the red, I don't think we have any room to speak, dude.
We're still young. It's fine.
Yeah, that's our excuse. We're still
We
young.
haven't done any huge productions yet that have like really like thousands of dollars. You know what I mean?
I don't know,
Like,
dude. Did you see What If I'm Already Dead? That costs like $20 to make.
20,000? You mean?
You know, okay, I don't know if I should say this publicly, but fuck it. One, go watch What If I'm Already Dead.
Yes,
Little fun
please do.
little short we put out. Yeah.
Good time.
But two, the only thing we bought for that movie, or not even a movie, for that little VHS camcorder 2-minute sequence, was a mannequin. Everything else, it was just like a blow-up mattress we own, my bed sheets, whatever. And then what I did for the mannequin, because the mannequin was like $90. And it was like the cheapest one. It was almost like I didn't know mannequins were so expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, why the fuck did I come up with this idea? This sucks. So I purchased a mannequin, and then for the shoot, we beat the shit out of it. Like, I took a hammer and like punched in its chest. I broke its arms.
no.
Like, I did all this shit for the
I know where
movie.
This is going.
And then I just returned it to Amazon, and I was like, it came this way,
Yeah.
and it worked.
Right. Just doxing
Dude,
all of our productions going forward.
Yeah. We do this trick a lot. Where we're like,
No, we don't. What are you talking
listen.
about?
Okay. I'm gonna give one more example. Okay, of what we did, but also it's Amazon. Who cares? But if you go watch Tales from River Fork, I think in chapter 1, I think we have a scene where we have a giant pair of scissors
Yes.
to like it's like a ribbon cutting ceremony. And I'm like, none of us want to keep a giant fucking pair of scissors.
Listen, you didn't consult me about this, so
Don't
No,
you
no.
dare.
I'm just
Okay?
kidding. I'm kidding.
Just like how I came up with Greenlit, right?
Right.
So we bought this giant fucking pair of scissors for like $200, and I was like, why would we keep this? And we returned it.
Yeah. You know what?
We made all our money back.
When you're a young filmmaker, you gotta do what you gotta do to get by, and that's all I can say on that. And we've never done it again, and we never will.
And we never will.
Wink, wink. All right, moving on to production of Open Season 2. This movie was directed by Matthew O'Callaghan and Todd Wilderman. Now, Matthew O'Callaghan directed Curious George, old Greenlit movie we loved, Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas, and he was an animator on many projects, and we will find more out about Matthew in a moment. Todd Wilderman, he directed Abominable and Home. So a couple other animated
I remember
films.
Home.
Yeah, I'm sure Home will come up on the show again. But yes, this movie was produced by Matthew O'Callaghan and Kirk Bodyfelt, who did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. I'm actually kind of surprised that we haven't done Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs yet, because I was going to say that feels like a summer sequel movie.
Famously on this show, I like to try to pick good movies, and you give me trash. So that's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs hasn't been picked because you won't let me pick a good movie. What the fuck?
After summer sequels, we'll get to the good movies. Don't worry.
What if we did Space Chimps?
Okay, Mr. Howard the Duck.
Hey, that movie's fucking brilliant. Okay,
I am
let's
excited
not
for the
pretend like
Steelbook,
you didn't
but-
just pre-order on Steelbook.
I
Don't
haven't
even.
yet, but it's happening. It is happening.
It's gonna happen.
It's a cool steelbook. I'll give you that.
It is kind of a
movie
really cool
sucks, though.
steelbook. No, it's fucking brilliant.
This movie was edited by Stephen Liu. I don't. Apologies to Stephen, but director.
Sorry, Stephen.
Not director. Editor of The Lorax, and Jimmy
Oh.
Sandoval, who edited Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. So
Is he
again, that
brothers
that
with
duo.
Tom?
Possibly. I don't know. So music for this movie was done by Ramin Djawadi. That's my best guess.
Tried your best.
I tried my best. Apologies for absolutely butchering that. But did this movie and did some composing, like additional composing for Pirates of the Caribbean, Iron Man, Son of the Mask, Batman Begins, did the original open season, Pacific Rim, Red Dawn, and the Eternals.
God
So,
damn.
pretty stacked.
Well, we love your work.
Yes.
We're sorry if we butchered your name, but you're awesome.
Absolutely incredible.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute.
terrible.
I'm sorry if Nick butchered your name.
Yes,
he
it was
he
me.
can be
You
he
can't-
can be a real
don't rub yourself
scumbag
into it.
sometimes.
All right,
and
all
just-
right. You didn't have to. Don't take it that
He can be
far.
a real fucking piece of shit, man. I hate this guy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so this movie has an undisclosed budget.
Oh.
I read reports that it was around $60K, but I don't think that's even possible.
There's no way.
I don't think that's
true.
possible.
There's no way.
And just for your reference, because we'll talk about how much it actually made, but the original cost $85 million, so there's literally no way it was 60.
No, that's impossible.
So originally, the original one cost $85 million and grossed $200 million. Now, remember, this was direct to DVD, but it did have a run in the box office. So, do you want to guess how much it made on that run in the box office?
Well, I believe it had a box office run in almost every other country besides the U.S. Right?
I think so. Yeah.
That's my memory of what people are about to hear, which we recorded like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It's been a little bit since that interview. So
It's been a little bit. Okay, I think the first one made 200 million, and then there's more sequels after this. You're right. There's Open Season 3, 4, 10, 11. There's a Wii game. There's all this stuff that Nick famously grew up with, allegedly. I'll say it made less, but I say it still made like a good amount of bank.
okay.
So I'll say it made like 102.675 million.
So 102 roughly.
Yeah, if you wanted to round up.
Roughly. So remember, again, this was direct to DVD.
Yep.
So in the box office, it made $8.8 million.
Oh, so I wasn't even close.
But
Awesome.
it's fair because it's direct to DVD, so it is like a weird. There's not a real budget number. Like it's a very tricky
that's fair.
thing. So Sony announced the sequel to Open Season in September of 2007. Although the original grossed $85 million in the United States and $115 million in foreign countries, Sony felt the film performed much better on DVD, which I don't know how
Oh, no shit.
actually true that is, but they were very happy about it. So they wanted to make a direct-to-DVD sequel. Now, Sony Pictures Digital president said that the studio will keep Open Season 2's costs low by utilizing ImageWorks satellite facilities in India and New Mexico. And I made a note of that might be cheaper, but I don't think it's $60,000. There's no
That's
way.
impossible.
It is impossible. So
I don't think you could get Joel McHale for even $60,000.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Way.
It's like you can't. That's not real. And if it is, holy hell, they made insane
Good
use
for
of
them.
their,
Yeah, that's
their
crazy.
budget. Good for them.
The fuck?
Yes, although Open Season 2 was released direct to video in the United States and the United Kingdom, it was released theatrically in some countries, as we mentioned. In South Africa, on its opening day, the film grossed $84,000. In Russia, it opened with $2 million.
Wow,
And
big
in
fans
Poland,
of Open Season over there.
Yeah, and in Poland, it opened with $194,000. And in total, the film grossed $8.7 million.
You know what's interesting? I think Psychedelic Toad made more than that in the box office.
Oh yeah, it made 9, famously.
Yeah, I think it made 9, right? Yeah.
No. We can't go
On a
wrong
budget
Spidey
of, what was it, like $700 was our
It
budget?
was more like $7.
Yeah, probably, after all the Amazon returns.
Yeah. So this was the first direct-to-video sequel to be produced by Sony Pictures Animation, and Open Season, if you remember, was the first film for the company. So their first film and their first direct-to-DVD.
Yeah,
And
it was also their first. It was the first film.
Yeah.
Ever.
It's just the first movie.
It was the first film. Yeah.
Not the one with the train coming at the screen.
No,
People were
or like the moon or some shit. No. Open Season.
Open Season 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Don't
So
look it
that's
up.
all I have on production. But to talk more about production, we have the director of the film, one of the 2 directors. Matthew O'Callahan was kind enough to give us some of his time to talk to him, and we will jump to that interview right now. We are very excited to be joined by our guest today. He is a director and animator whose work has created some core memories of our youth, from Curious George and Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas to The Little Mermaid, The Great Mouse Detective, and the film we're discussing today, Open Season 2. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matthew O'Callahan.
Woo!
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Well, thank you for having me. I have to say, this is literally the first time I've ever been interviewed on this movie.
That is wild.
So you guys have the honor so many years later. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's a
when I
Greenlit
got your
exclusive.
email, I'm like, what is this? Am I getting pranked here? I mean, seriously wanting to talk about Open Season 2. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm oddly honored.
No, it's yeah, really, truly,
First
it's
time.
great to have you.
Right. Thank you very much. I brought some friends along, so I got Mr. Weenie here. You know,
No way.
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, they're normally sitting on that shelf back there, so I had to bring them down for the
Oh, that's
close up. And
great.
of course, Fifi, this is
Oh,
great.
that's incredible.
Isn't that cute?
That is incredible.
That's awesome.
I love it.
And then Elliot, but Elliot is now a Chicago Blackhawks fan.
Oh,
because
nice.
Of course, as he should be.
I stuck a jersey over him, but
Oh, that's
anyway,
really great.
they're along for the ride today.
Amazing.
So anyway,
Well,
We're
I'm
happy
glad
to have
he's
them as
repping
well.
the team.
Yeah.
I may be the only ones that have these toys too, by
Yeah.
the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
You never know.
So now Nick, we gotta track those down.
More exclusive, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Okay, so
anyway.
we would like to start at the beginning, if that's okay. Way at the beginning of your career. You know, like,
Oh,
how did you
boy.
first get into animation and filmmaking? Like, were you that kid in class that just doodled all day? Or did it kind of like develop later in life? Like, just walk us through everything.
Well, briefly, my story is not unique in that way because I am that kid who picked up
You
a
are?
crayon and started drawing cartoons and was very interested in cartoons. I am a little different than some of my colleagues because a lot of them are very comic book related. I was not. I was kind of bored. I kind of liked movement, so I was attracted to the sitting in front of the TV watching cartoons. That was my love, and I kind of love the heart and the artistry of the Disney classics,
Mhm.
and then I love the comedic. I love comedy, so I love Warner Brothers and Three Stooges and stupid stuff like that. That kind of appealed to my silly sense of humor, which of course paid off in Open Season 2. But
Yes, it did.
anyway, that was kind of my thing, and I kind of just briefly, got very interested in animation. And I think by the time I was like 12 years old, I go, "Dad, I want to be an animator," and he goes, "I have no idea what that is."
I think Nick had the same exact conversation with his dad.
Still working on it, still trying to convince him.
Yeah, I always say I think it would have been easier to tell my dad that I wanted to be an astronaut than an animator.
Yeah.
But anyway, he kind of helped me he had a little artistic background himself, so he sort of like didn't go, "Oh, come on, what is that? What's that all about? You can't make money making
Mhm.
cartoons." So he actually encouraged me and helped me get to Cal Arts after I graduated high school, and then got to Cal Arts because it was literally the only school in the country that taught Disney animation. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to get in there.
It's the OG.
So put together a portfolio. Was lucky enough to get in to get accepted there, and I went 2 years, and out of my second year at CalArts, they offered me a job at Disney. So I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
yeah, let me go. So then I
Yeah.
started my career at Disney, many, many moons ago. So, um, and then without getting into detail, I started out as an assistant animator, then became a storyboard artist, then became an
Mm.
animator, and then got aspirations to direct. So that kind of led me kind of out the door, really, because I kind of wanted to direct, and at that time, they were kind of locking people into their positions. And
Mm.
I was a supervising animator at that time, but wanted to do some other things and stretch my wings a little bit. So that's kind of where my career
Sure.
changed directions a little bit. So
So
Yeah.
directing wasn't always the go-to role.
no, it wasn't. I think it was just because of I was fortunate enough to storyboard. Um, a lot of the animators uh, became like an assistant animator, and then they went under another animator, and then they just animated. And
Mm.
then I kind of did a slightly different path where I became a storyboard artist before I became an animator. And I think, and I literally, I could say this with confidence, storyboarded on 99% of the projects I've ever worked on.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, it kind of went hand in hand. As a directing animator, a lot of times you would storyboard the things you ultimately ended up directing. And on other projects, I just loved the art form. So
Mm.
sometimes it worked out really great where I would storyboard to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm bored with this. Now they're just changing,
Mm.
directions on the film and whatever. And then the animation started. And then when you got done, we got a little burnt out on animation. Another project started. I went back to boarding. So it was a
Mm.
little bit of this board animate.
Yeah,
Mm.
back and
And then
forth, back
I
and forth.
I think just my love for boarding, because not only are you storyboarding, like back in the early days of Disney, like on Great Mouse Detective, we didn't even have a script. We
Mm.
had like what they called the beat board, which
Mhm.
were just like pictures of the sequences and little descriptions. And that's how they would pass out sequences to the board guys, and we would just start boarding and writing temporary dialogue, and that's kind of how the old way of doing animation was.
Yeah.
And so by doing that, you're working with a lot of great storyboard artists and story people, and you just learn a lot about story.
Mm.
And I think it just kind of opens up your world a little bit and into storytelling and then filmmaking, because now you're doing wide shots and close-ups, and you're doing choreography of the characters, going in and out of the scene or up the camera. So I just kind of fell in love with a lot of that, and I think that kind of fed my director itch to try to
Mm.
start directing. So
Yeah,
that's
totally. I think that like this is part of the reason why I love animation so much and it's such a unique and interesting art form to me is because you do a lot of that editing like before the actual animation starts. Like it feels very backwards in the best way possible to like the production that I've been taught in live action. And I think that's super fascinating. And on the storyboarding side, I feel like yeah, as a director, that's a super great skill to kind of have because then yeah you have that ability to kind of flesh out what you want and talking about you as in your role as director how were there any key moments within your time as a storyboard artist or an animator that you feel led to the director was it you talking to people higher up and just keep reminding them that hey I want to direct or kind of how did that come to fruition.
um, it kind of went gradual. I think as a directing animator, you're kind of directing your sequences. I don't want to discredit any of the directors that were the director of the movie,
Mm,
but a lot of them would give a lot of leeway to the directing animators. So instead of saying directing, you're kind of crafting a little bit, and you're
mm,
working with the directors who have sort of the overall vision, or at times, like John and Ron, who did Great Mouse Detective
mm,
and Mermaid. They certainly had the overarching umbrella and the real vision for the film. But they were great where they would give you a lot of leeway, a lot. And so I think there was a little bit of that. And then when you start doing that, you gain a little bit of confidence to sort of, directing's all about communicating. You have an idea in your head. Now, how am I going to communicate that? And then, of course, there's the levels of, sophistication and entertainment and so on and so forth. But you're really kind of crafting and developing, and you're a storyteller, and that was really exciting to me. And so, and a lot of times when you're boarding and you're, especially early on, I mean, you're always learning. I'm still learning today, but early on, you're really trying to figure out who you are and what your voice is, and perfect your own skills. And a lot of times, what do? You study, right? When you go to school, you study. So you're not only learning from the people around you, but you're on your own. You're going to movies, you're watching TV shows, you're drawing. So you're constantly learning. And I think for me, kind of like, I was just telling this at a talk last year, because somebody asked me about directing, and I said, you know what, I think as a young artist, I love the Disney heart. I love the musical aspect. I love the artistry. I love, their studying the animation and learning how to do the squash and stretch and the overlapping action and keeping a character alive. So I love that about the Disney stuff. But as far as directing, Scorsese, Spielberg, Cameron, and I found myself just watching movies like that for direct. Like, I was more inspired about that. Like, I'd get really excited when a Spielberg movie came out. I didn't get so excited when a new animated movie came out. It was like a different. It was just kind of I didn't really blend them together. I just kind of went, I'm really excited about this. So I think that stuff excited me about directing. Like, could I take some of that stuff that I learned, like watching those movies, and apply it to some animated stuff?
Yeah.
Not that I ever achieved that, but
I would argue. No, yeah, I feel that Pelton and I on our much smaller scale feel very similarly, because both are into animation and would love to direct animation in the future. But yeah, we both are like big, Scorsese, Spielberg, a lot of those directors that you mentioned. I feel like that also inspires us. So I feel that in my soul.
So I'll tell you a quick story, and you can actually go online and see this film yourself because it's on YouTube. So when I left the studio, I did the movie called Rover Dangerfield, and it was kind of like a bust, but it kind of led me to my first directing job. So the owner of the studio at the time says, "Hey, you want to direct? Here's a song from Paramount. They want to do an animated short on it." I'm like, what? And it was literally Carly Simon. I don't know if you've ever heard of that singer, but she sang the Itsy Bitsy Spider song. Itsy Bitsy Spider. I'm listening and going, what? What are you gonna do with this? And I had to come up with the concept of it. And I go, wow, what if I flipped it? What if it started out really sweet and then turned into and at the time it was like I love those movies like Terminator and Predator, and what if it started out really sweet and then it just flipped to this insane action, over the top, violent cartoon?
That's
That's
funny.
what it is.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance to watch it, look up Itsy Bitsy Spider, and Jim Carrey does the Exterminator, and the Exterminator is hired to kill this sweet little spider who's protecting this little girl from her evil piano teacher. And there's a spider in the house. She calls the Exterminator, and there you go. So it starts out with her playing the piano and turns into this complete action romp And
Wait. There's an action thriller version of the Itsy Bitsy Spider out there right now
With Jim
yeah,
Carrey.
with Jim Carrey
and
in it.
Jim Carrey was his first time he had done an animated voice. Because I saw him on this TV show. He used to do a sketch comedy thing called In Living Color. It was kind of
Yeah.
like SNL, but
Yeah,
and I go, he might be fun to work with. And I saw a casting person. I go, give this guy a call, see if he'll come in and kick it around with me.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
check it out, the Itsy Bitsy Spider,
Wow.
and
Wow.
it's a lot of fun. And the reason why I bring it up was the first thing I really directed. So I
Sure.
like storyboarded the whole thing
Mm.
and crafted it. And I go, and this was the kind of thing, like as a director, you kind of go, what's the kind of thing I'd want to make?
Yeah.
What's the kind of thing that tickles my funny bone?
Mm.
And I go, what if I could blend animation with, these action movies that I love? And so if you get a chance, check it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Terminator version of Itsy Bitsy Spider.
Consider it on the
Yeah.
list.
I think we have to
Yeah.
check that out immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Check that out. It's like 7 minutes, and it ran as a theatrical cartoon. So
Mm.
I don't know if I have any images here of it, or if I have. Yeah, to check. And then oddly, it became the first TV show I created was called The Itsy Bitsy Spider, based
Oh,
on
really?
the short, and then that's how I got into some television work. But anyway, there you go.
Well, okay, on Greenlit, we tend to rank all the movies we've covered, and I might be number one or number two.
It's
Genuinely is Curious George.
it is up
No,
there. It is
really?
genuinely
Oh,
We've
up there.
covered like Pan's Labyrinth and stuff. We're like, no, Curious George. We had such a good time rewatching Curious George for this show. And I know
well,
like for a lot
thank
of our
you.
audience, no, thank you, because like for a lot of our audience, it has a core memory, and like us growing up as kids, that was such a big part of our youth. So I would kind of kick myself if we didn't at least ask you one question about it.
Okay.
But what was it like kind of taking on a property that iconic and beloved and taking a long-running TV show and putting it into film?
Well, sometimes you get a little intimidated by it because it is such a beloved property. But I think I just felt like I had a handle on it. I felt like I don't know if you know the complete story of it, but I wasn't the original director on it. They had
Mm.
another director on it,
Hmm.
and I felt sorry for her, but for some reason it wasn't working when they were doing the storyboarding process.
Hmm.
So they kind of looked for another director at the time, and they showed me the story reel, and there were a few elements in it that I just felt like fought the idea of it. Like when you're talking about, you always have to know as a director who your audience is. And so with Curious
Me, Nick.
George, you guys.
Yeah.
Besides you guys, um, a lot of people are going to bring their little tykes to the movie.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when we're when I'm an adult making the movie, I also want to make it entertaining for me.
Of course.
And so you want to hit some different tiers of sophistication. But at the end of the day, Curious George is what people read to their little kids, or
Hmm.
what first time readers. So some of the first attempt at the movie, when I saw it, they had a lot of talk about saving the museum, but it had a lot of financial things in it, banks and money and currency, and we got to raise this much money and whatever. And I go, yeah, I don't think kids really understand what that is. You know what I mean?
It's a good point.
Forget,
I think that was a
get
good
rid of,
call. Yeah.
yeah. And then the other thing is, like, a lot of studios, oh, we're making a movie. Well, we gotta, like, let's get a bunch of talking animals. So
Mm,
they had all these other animals in it, and they're all talking. And I go, yeah, but Curious George isn't talking. Yeah, well, Curious George doesn't talk in the books, but they're thinking, oh, we got to get jokes, and we got to get
sure.
the banter, and it'll be really funny. And I said, yeah, get rid of all that. I go, Curious George has to be the star of the movie.
Mm.
Well, he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk. We can't get the jokey, in dialogue exchange. Yeah, I know. That's the challenge. Get rid of everybody, He's the star and the man with the yellow hat. That's the movie.
Mm.
And so it was just the idea of, getting that across, and them saying, to me, the studio's guy going, "You think you can do it?" I go, "Yeah." Well, that's the challenge. You up for a challenge? Yeah, I'm up for a challenge. He's going to be the star of the movie. So that's kind of one of the 2 points where I think I connected with them, whether they had confidence in me at that time or not. That was the direction we took, and we came in and stripped it all down and cleaned up the story, and it was really about the relationship between the two of them that
Yeah.
and then Jack Johnson, bringing him in, he just had a very sweet music that kind of was very intimate,
Mm-hmm.
which is what the movie, which you're talking about a little monkey, and
Yeah.
That's the movie. Yeah.
you're not going to have a big big John Williams score, big,
Sure.
it just felt like it had to just be a little bit more intimate, and it just seemed to some of those elements fit, and then because they had so much time to make the movie, and then they had half the movie with the previous regime, and then they brought me in. This end date didn't change, so I think the studio just had to kind of go, okay, we picked this guy, let's go with it, and then it was just go.
Get it to the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally. And I think the heartfelt nature of that movie really, really comes across. And I mean, it's hard to beat, a sweet little monkey going through a montage of his life with Jack Johnson, the soundtrack of our childhood kind of playing through. And one thing I mentioned when we had that episode was like just the warm tones of the colors of that movie is just, oh man, it really just hit me in the heart, and like it was really great.
I
So
think we
yes,
also sang it, didn't we?
I think
I
in
think
the episode we started singing Upside Down, but that's a
we
whole
might
nother
have
thing.
started singing it live on
Yeah,
radio.
doing the bongos. Anyways, but yeah, similar to Curious George, the movie at hand opened season 2. So this, similarly, you were given the task to direct a film in a pretty successful franchise with a lot of new players, a lot of new voice casts, new crew. So was there pressure? Did you feel the pressure to do the first film justice? Obviously, it was very successful. And what were kind of some of the challenges that you faced with this movie?
Well, this had serious challenges.
Mm,
One of them was the schedule and the budget, because
mm,
it wasn't, it was kind of like what they called back then made for DVD. Now it would be
right.
called made for streaming, but
Hmm.
back then it was supposed to be, a DVD feature. They later released it in many foreign countries.
Hmm.
And I only know that because they sent me the posters with all the names all in different languages. But
Yeah.
so I think I had done Curious George, and I was at Sony doing some storyboarding or something.
Mm,
And I think it was Jill Colton, who was one of the original directors of Open Season. I think she was aware I was in the studio, and I think she was kind of championing me to do this film. So they brought me in on it, and they gave me the script to read, and I read it over the weekend and came in, and they were talking about it and asked me about things, and without getting into too much detail about that, what they said was, we have exactly 13 months to make this movie.
oh my
And they
goodness.
said, we know you did Curious George in like a year and a half. So I think she was like, I think this guy could pull this off. And so they kind of asked if I was willing to take this on. I go, sure, I'd love to do it.
Mm,
And part of what I loved, I think what I did was when I worked in television prior to this and did the Itsy Bitsy Spider TV show, and then I later did this TV show called Life with Louie. Part of what was great about TV is it's really fast. Like, and you don't even build, like, we didn't even build animatics in television.
yeah.
We we had scripts we worked on, we recorded the voices, and we kind of did storyboards, and that was it. We didn't even make story reels to see
Yeah.
how they would play.
That's
So
wild.
basically, you just learn a little bit more about, your instincts and your experience kind of really come to play as you're working at that speed. So when they asked me to do open season 2, I go, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I said, but we can't do it in the traditional way that you guys are used to making animated
Right.
features.
Time-wise, never gonna
It's not
work.
going to work.
Yeah.
You can't build a whole story reel and go, yeah, let's redo this sequence and that sequence, and well, let's change this, let's change that. I go, you've got to just have confidence that give me give me the story. If you like the story, let me just go.
Mhm.
And so there was a little bit of like, geez, can we do this or not? And and I think it was Jill who had a lot of confidence in me, and Sandy Rabins at the time, and they just, we didn't even have, and then there was like a writer strike in there, so we couldn't even do much of a
Mhm.
rewrite at the time. We had to kind of rewrite it on the fly,
Mhm.
anything that we had to rewrite. So was I intimidated? Open Season was a great movie. I think this movie was written to be a little bit more silly.
Mhm.
So we just said, let's take that and run with it. Let's just
Sure.
make this a romp and make
Yeah,
it
just
fun.
own it.
Yeah, let's not try to get too heartfelt, too sweet. Even though the film has an odd uh,
It definitely does.
heart to
Yeah.
it.
We were talking about it right
Um,
before the episode that like by the end I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, especially with
wow.
Elliot. Yeah, that
Yeah.
whole
yeah,
plot.
It really
yeah,
struck a chord. Yeah.
and with Weenie deciding to go with the owners
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
back to the animals,
Yeah.
you're like, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of that, but it was at the that was the heart of it. But there was certainly a lot of silliness to it,
Mhm.
and we just took it and ran with it.
Sure.
And it was 13 months, very small budget, and we were working with a studio in Dallas, Real Effects, and they had to recreate all the assets. Like they could
Oh,
barely use
Wow.
anything from the first film. So
Wow.
they had
Was
to,
it like proprietary or was it from another company or?
no, I think it was because they were going to do the animation. They wanted their rigs. They
Yeah,
wanted,
sure. Sure, sure,
you
sure.
I
know,
see.
Makes sense.
they had to simplify things
Yeah.
and make things workable to make this ridiculous time schedule we
Yeah,
were
that's
on. So
for animation is like insane.
yeah,
But again,
so
I think that TV background definitely plays into I did a short, very short stint. I was an intern at the Tonight Show. So even that like in live action,
oh
oh my
yeah.
gosh, like you're
Yeah,
writing the
quick.
scripts the morning of and getting it out the day. So I definitely feel you there as far as like being just quick on your feet and trusting your instincts. And man, that is wildly impressive that you guys even got that done in that time period.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it took a village, that's for sure.
Now you said it got released like internationally in theaters. Was there ever a conversation of putting it out in the US or was it always DVD?
I think we kind of lobbied for it. I can't tell you why the studio chose
Mm.
the way they did. I can't even. I mean, sometimes you think things are obvious, like, but at the end of the day, it didn't go that direction. So
Mm,
it was what it was. So
Fair. Because the first one was so successful, I was surprised to hear the second one was straight to DVD.
mm.
yeah.
Yeah. And also, I know a lot of like the original voice cast for the first one didn't come back for open season two. Was there like was there kind of like an effort to try to get them? Was it a budget thing, a time thing? Like what happened?
Again, I'm not exactly sure. I don't exactly remember, but I think I don't know if it was scheduling and money. It
Mm.
was probably just the new the budget to make this film was so small that they couldn't go back to those, that same talent. So anyway, so we found not sound alikes, but we wanted to capture the same flavor and as the original. So I think we made a pretty good choice with some of these. Like
I say
Joe
I was
McHale.
about to say,
Joe
especially
McHale did
Joe
a
Yeah,
great
I
McHale.
was
job.
I was
I
gonna say
think he did
even yeah,
fantastic.
even though the original cast didn't come back, I was looking at the cast and I was like, man, it's still like really stacked. Like
Oh yeah.
it's really great, and I think everyone did such a great job. Um, but yeah, so looking back on Open Season 2, what do you feel most proud of? I think getting it out on time and on budget really I think is the main thing just from me looking at it, but I'd love to hear your perspective on what you're kind of most proud of, but also what are some of the biggest lessons that you took away from it?
I think what makes me proud is actually, achieving something that's done so quickly,
Mm,
and and a lot of it is, when you're working at this speed and you are working with a studio. This was Real Effects in Dallas, and so you're working with them, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't do that." And then instead of going, "No, you're going to do it because I said so," it was like, "Okay, why? What are the? Okay, all right." And then creatively, you had to find ways of getting around things.
mm,
Like for example, when they first bid the project, the whole Pet Paradiso, the
mm,
sort of pet amusement park,
yeah.
water park,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was not in the original script. It was like a
Oh.
it was like a Sasquatch festival.
That's
And
so interesting.
I think when I was reading it going, what is a Sasquatch? And I was saying, I don't know if anybody could relate to this.
Yeah, right?
And and I felt like I think that was one of the changes we kind of wrote in, like when we actually had the writer. And I said, "Yeah, I appreciate the originality of a Sasquatch festival, but I go, I don't think anybody can relate to this." And a lot of times when you don't have a lot of time, screen time, you have to put something on the screen that people go, "Oh yeah, I get it."
Yeah,
So
100%.
people understand an amusement park,
Yeah.
people understand a water park,
Hmm.
and then the slight switch would be, oh, let's make it for pets.
Hmm.
Okay, I think that's a gettable idea.
Well, and
So I think we
it's
kind of did that.
yeah, definitely. It's funny you said it too, because like when we haven't recorded the rest of this episode, but when we do, I will emphasize again that those scenes at Pet Paradiso, like those stick out in my memory more than anything. Like when we came back to this episode, or to this movie rather, I that was like one of the first things I told Pelton. I was like, "There's this open season movie, and there were like water slides, and like I would love to go back to that one. I don't remember which one it was." So we get back to thinking, but that was like one of the main things that like visually I remember from when I
Yeah,
was
it
younger.
stuck.
So
It
it's
stuck a lot.
yeah, it's I'm curious to see what it would look like as a Sasquatch festival, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I think running with that idea of yeah, you do get that instantly in a movie that is, an hour and 20 minutes.
So going back to the challenges
Mm.
was because we were working so fast, we're working on the boards and the new story. Meanwhile, they take the original script and they give the real effects to bid on it. Well, they're bidding on a Sasquatch
Oh
festival
yeah,
in the
that's true.
woods or
Right.
whatever, and all of a sudden they see this water park and they're like, water, and you know I don't know if you know much, but
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, you put a character in water,
Yeah,
a
the
CG character
simulation and
interacting,
yeah,
and that's very difficult. And they're like,
it's tough.
"Yeah, we can't do all the things you're describing." And I go, "Okay, let's keep the water park, but now I have to restage things."
Mm.
So if you'll notice, there's a lot of things that are low angles where they're sliding by the thing, and then the water would shoot, and you'd get them coming into, if the ramp is here and they're going back here, well, there's no water interaction, and you just put some water here.
Yeah,
But you put the camera low enough and you don't see inside them
right.
on the
Kind of cheat
water.
it.
So there were a lot of cheats and that, but that would be like, okay, Matt, we can't do this shot. Okay,
Mm.
let me just read, let me just move the camera, and so there were a lot of like cheats and stuff. But instead of like browbeating them to do it a certain way, we would listen to them, go back and go, okay, let's figure out a way to do this where we can still have what we want but still be cost effective on their end. So it
Mm.
was a nice little partnership, which later paid off later because I used the same studio for Warner Brothers shorts. But
Hey.
Oh, there you go.
yeah, but it was a great working relationship, and a lot of them are still my friends and colleagues today.
Awesome.
But it worked out really well, and it was again. So some of those challenges, like whenever you're coming up against something, it wasn't like you hit a wall. It was like, all right, well, we hit an obstacle. Now, how do we get around this?
Hmm.
So that was a lot of the challenges. And I'm kind of just proud how it came out. I think it's very entertaining,
Yeah.
and I, for the kind of movie it is, um, uh, I I think we did a nice job of making a nice story, and it's entertaining. Maybe it's not as rich looking as some of the movies. We certainly had issues with trying to get it out on time, and
Mm.
when you get into lighting, and that's very
Yeah.
intricate, and we didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff, so
Yeah,
a
very
lot of
tight
stuff was
deadline, it
kind of
seemed.
pieced together, and I'm like, these shadows are all inconsistent,
Yeah.
so you know, there were some issues with it, but
Mm.
all in all, it was fun.
Yeah.
So you told us you watched it last night.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite part of the movie? And you don't have to answer this if you don't want, but do you have a least favorite part of the movie?
Well, I think I I always get a kick out of them throwing the rabbits, and that just breaks
It's a
me up.
classic.
I just I that just always is so funny to me, and I love VP character. That was really fun
Hmm.
to work with Crispin Glover on that. And I think the least favorite. I wish the humans, were animated a little bit.
Mhm.
I think they just look a little on the cheap side. I wish they had a little bit more richness to them. But again, we had limitations. But
Hmm.
um, anyway, I mean, there's always going to be things you're kind of going,
Yeah.
ah.
Totally. Yeah.
But there's certainly, an entertainment uh, level. There's certainly a lot of great laughs in that. And that's, if people are entertained, they don't even see the stuff that I'm describing.
Mm.
If
I was gonna
people
say,
are bored and the jokes aren't working, then they see every
Then you
then
pick
it
flaw in
starts
the
to
movie.
stand out.
Hmm.
But if you just have a good time, and a lot of times people overlook that stuff. So that's what we were doing.
Say, if it makes you feel any better, I watched it, I think 2 days ago in prep for this episode, and I was laughing at the jokes. I was having a great time with it. I didn't even notice the humans looked a little cheap.
Yeah,
To me, it looked
yeah,
great.
yeah. But you would have if the
Yeah.
jokes
Well, yeah,
weren't
fair enough.
Yeah.
funny.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but
So, I guess kind of our last question here to wrap it up is for two young directors like me and Nick, and a lot of people listening that go to film school and are trying to make films and are very early in their career like us. What advice would you give to them to break into the industry today, especially in animation?
well, I would first of all, I think you have to find something that you're passionate about, and what appeals to you. And I think you have to find your tone. Like, what is my tone? Well, if you find the piece that you're trying to direct and you're trying to tell a story, then you're like going, well, what if I had an example of what it would be? What would match this piece that I'm trying to do? And I think it's very important. A lot of young directors, I think, try to do too much, you know, and I think you have to try to make things very simple and manageable, um, and don't get too over ambitious. You know what I mean? Like, okay, for my first film, it's gonna have the same look as Guardians of the Galaxy. Like you're just not going to be able to achieve that, and you're
Right.
going to spend more time trying to make it look like that than to actually tell a story, whether it's 2 minutes or 8 minutes or 20 minutes.
Mhm.
I think you have to, again, take this open season thing as an example. If you actually tell a good story and you make it entertaining, then people will overlook some of the stuff and go, well, they're new filmmakers. Of course, it's not going to look like,
True.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Of
Mm.
course not. Um, that would be my advice to you. Don't be over ambitious and really tell the story that you want to tell. And when I talk about entertainment, it doesn't mean it has to be laugh out loud funny. It just has to be entertaining. Like, is the story engaging?
Mhm.
Does the story have heart? Does the story move somebody? Or is it just a comedic thing that is going to be funny? Put your effort into the content and not necessarily the production value.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's great. I think that not only us but also our listeners will definitely take that and run with it. Thank you so much for being on the show today. We truly appreciate not only your insight but also the movies that you've made. And obviously we mentioned it, but it's really touched our hearts and had an impact on us growing up to the point where we do an entire show about it now. So thank you
We do.
again for all that you do and for being on the show. And yeah.
Well, thank you for asking me to do this, and then picking out open season 2, which is just I got the biggest kick out of that, and
Yeah.
I appreciate your enthusiasm and your listeners as well. I think I love what you guys are doing, and animation's a lot of fun, and that's the key thing. You have to have fun making these things, whether you're a kid or an adult. Even though your audience may be younger, we still have to entertain ourselves. So
Mhm.
that's why I always look at it like, if I'm not enjoying this or if I'm not entertained, how could I expect anybody else to be? So that's another thing, is really please yourself, entertain yourself, and for all you young filmmakers, don't be afraid to show your work to people, work in
Mm.
progress, because I think that's an important thing. And don't hold things too, you could be passionate, but if you hold on to it so much that you don't take any input from people, you're going to hurt yourself.
Mm.
If you're trying to, put across an idea and you go, how's this reading? Is it working? Is it funny? Is it whatever you're trying to do? Ask those questions and see if people are responding to how you're trying to put it out there. Because I think that's the key. If you're not communicating your vision, then it's lost
Yeah,
and you're wasting everybody's time. So
definitely. I
There you go,
love it.
Nick. When I show you my stuff, you can be a little more harsh.
Yeah, I'll try.
There you
yeah,
Awesome. But
Matt,
yes.
Matt's going to use that shield back there to
Exactly. Like, wait,
The
wait, wait.
Captain America. Yeah, exactly.
fight off that criticism. But
Right,
no,
right.
thank you guys. Thanks a lot. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much. This was so much fun.
Yeah. All
Thank
right.
you.
And now back to the show. Okay, we are back. Thank you again to Matthew O'Callahan for giving us some of his time and for giving us some insight onto the making of the movie. So now,
What a great first name, by the way. Could we just talk about that?
Matthew. Yeah.
I think it holds a lot of like power and sexiness and
Right,
just
right.
you could tell he's quite brilliant.
I mean,
Matthew's
listen,
quite brilliant.
after having 2 Todds back to back, it's nice to have a.
It's nice to change it up.
Refresh. That'd be insane if we had a third Todd.
No,
both of
if-
our other 2
if-
Todds were great, but like having a third
when
Todd
we're
would be
reaching
wild.
out to people for movies, if a Todd worked on it, I'm not even
Absolutely not.
emailing them.
Yeah.
It's a no. It's an automatic no.
Sorry to all the Todds
Both
out
our
there
Todds,
that
we
are
love
like,
you.
really excited to come on the show. Sorry, we're not going to be reaching out.
And genuinely to both Todd Edwards and Todd Gardner, you guys fucking rock.
Yeah, you guys are amazing.
Yeah,
And
you guys fucking
we
rock.
love you guys and keep doing what you're doing. So moving on to plot of Open Season 2.
Wait,
Yes.
we can't move on
Okay.
because I don't know it.
What?
we gotta. Okay. There's 2 things I gotta address before we move on to plot of
Okay,
Open Season
okay.
2. One has nothing to do with Open Season 2. One does. So you can choose which order.
I say let's do the one that has nothing to do with it first, and then we can have the open season 2 that leads into the actual talking about.
Okay, I feel bad because I called you a scumbag earlier. Let me just say, you've gotten pretty good at these transitions.
Thanks.
And so I feel like going into Greenlit, my job is I'm like, how much can I throw off this show?
And see how I can somehow
And
bring
how
it
you somehow bring it back. Like the fact that not that long ago, you're like, speaking of me being in a wheelchair, let's talk about open season 2. And you made it work? That's crazy. I was like blown away by that one. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Speaking of nothing to do with open season 2.
Yes.
On this show, I don't remember what it might have been Ever After, but do you remember at this point, months ago, you gave me a list of like a bunch of the Disney animated things.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And you're like,
I
which
remember
ones
you
have you
texted
seen?
me about this. You're like, I have a Disney update on
I have a
Greenlit.
Disney
I was like,
update.
okay, perfect. Yes, this is the time to do that.
You were like, which ones have you seen and which ones have you not seen?
Yes, this was on our Ever After episode. If you haven't already
It
listened,
was.
go back because it is a ridiculous list of movies that Pelton has never seen. And I hope you're coming to me with good news.
Okay, I have two things.
Okay.
One of them is I have a bone to pick with that list, okay? Because listen, I watched most of my movies with my father and my older brother.
Right.
You have 3 men
sure.
watching movies.
Sure.
That is testosterone. Why the fuck would I have grown up with Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella and Snow White? It's 3 dudes. We're not putting on princess movies.
Yeah, but it's like classic cinema.
No, it's princess movies. There's no way.
Beauty and the Beast got nominated for fucking Best Picture.
Listen, it's classic cinema, but like if you're a little kid, and also my dad isn't like super into movies. Like he's a math teacher, you know what I mean?
Fair.
So it's like, hey, I'm raising 2 boys.
Yeah.
Am I gonna put on like fucking Transformers, which we didn't watch, but I can't think of an example. Am I gonna put on like Transformers? I'm gonna go put on Snow White from the
Transformers
60s.
is like the boy movie. It's like that and Pirates.
It is. Exactly. Like we're gonna put on Pirates.
Okay, I get it to a certain degree, but then on the flip side, it's Walt Disney Animation. It's like a big chunk of cinema history that is really, really hard to miss.
Okay, how about this? In my opinion, it makes sense that I didn't grow up watching those.
Yes.
But now that we do movies, I have no excuse.
It makes no fucking sense that you didn't watch it
I'll
in like
give
high
you that.
school or
Okay.
college.
I'll give you that. Yeah, it's pretty bad at this point that I haven't seen those.
Yeah.
But you and Brooke gave me so much shit for having not seen those when I was a kid, and then I called my dad, and he's like, "Dude, I gotta stand up for you a little bit." Like it was 3 guys in a house. There's no way.
I get
we're
the
putting that
childhood
on.
thing to a certain extent. I will give you.
Yeah,
I will
come
cut you
on.
some slack on that. Yes.
Okay, second thing
Yeah.
is a lot of the time, because remember I have an older brother by like 2 or 3 years, depending on like the time of year. So a lot of like the very early Disney stuff, we did watch.
Yeah.
I was just too young and I didn't remember.
Sure.
So after that episode came out, I was on the phone with my dad, and he was like, "Hey, dipshit." He's like, "You've seen Tarzan,
Oh, beautiful.
Mulan, Jungle Book.
Thank God.
Like, you've seen half of the movies you said you hadn't seen, you have seen."
Okay.
I just
That's
didn't
good.
remember. I was too little.
That's okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so that list is in contention.
Okay.
Because I think if you took away all the princess stuff, because I was sick and awesome
So
and like
cool,
eating
as you mentioned
creatine and
almost every episode.
yeah, I was going to the gym and getting laid, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not watching princess shit.
Right.
But outside of like the princess stuff, I've actually seen most of those.
Right. That's fair. Okay.
Dude,
that's fair.
I'm Disney boy. We can be
I mean,
together.
you said in a recent episode that you were. What did you say? You were like, "I'm a Disney shill or a corporate shill." And I was
yeah,
like,
I'm a corporate shill.
so
it's
okay,
true.
that's fair. Do you have an update to the list, or are you're just saying that?
The 3 specifically that were mentioned by my dad was Tarzan, Mulan, and Jungle Book.
Okay, which is fair.
He's like,
'cause those movies are
we
great.
own those DVDs.
Okay.
Like we played those all the time.
Yeah. Okay. You just don't
Again,
remember
I
them.
was just
Yeah.
I was too young.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you have to go back and rewatch them.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
And also, if you think about like all the Pixar stuff, because I think we did that list second.
Yeah, you've seen like all
I've
of them.
seen almost all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the ones that I can remember, like actually growing up, I'd seen, and then all the Disney stuff that was just like came out before I was born.
Yeah.
I fucking had seen it.
Yeah.
I knew it all.
That's good. Okay, that's fair. And okay, next Disney update you give on the show.
Yeah.
I want I've seen these movies now, and here is my review of all of them. Even if it's like a 1 to 2 sentence review, and it doesn't have to be in an episode coming up. We could give it, a couple months, even a year, if the show is somehow still going. But we need an update. The fans, the diehards of this show need an update about you watching the movies that you hadn't seen or hadn't remembered, and giving your official review on them.
Okay, I will do a Disney update. I will go back and I will watch every single movie Disney has made. Not if, but.
Okay.
I fucking refuse to watch The Black Cauldron. I can't. I won't do it.
Why?
Because who gives a flying fuck about The Black Cauldron, dude? Not even Disney likes The Black Cauldron.
Okay. While I agree that it is one of maybe my bottom 3 movies that Disney Animation has done, you are going to watch Home on the Range, but you're not going to watch Black Cauldron. I think Home on the Range is the worst thing that Disney's ever done.
Okay, Home on the Range, at least there's a song that people know.
I guess, but Black Cauldron at least has some beautiful imagery inside of it. Home on the Range doesn't look really great.
Okay, I'll look up fucking stills. I'll Google it.
Watch a couple of clips.
No.
Please.
No. You have nothing to negotiate with. I hold all the cards.
That's fair. It also sucks, so I can't.
It also sucks.
That's fair. I mean, there's other movies that suck in that catalog, but I understand it being the one that people talk about.
I have a question. And actually, to be fair, I really don't know the answer because you're more of a Disney guy than I am.
Okay.
You're more of a Disney corporate shill.
Sure.
Yeah, you're more of a sellout. But can you? I swear to God, I said you're more of a sellout on my back. Just went ooh.
Yeah.
I got a
Captain America
pain.
shield behind you, you dipshit.
Don't worry about that. Okay.
Yeah.
If pretend you're in a Disney boardroom.
Okay.
And they have a big whiteboard, right?
It's funny because I'm not too far away from that.
No, you're really not. You could probably picture it pretty accurately.
Yes.
So pretend there's a big whiteboard.
Yeah.
Mickey's there, Iger's there, Eisner, all of them.
Eisner's back.
Eisner's there, Walt's there,
Good.
they're all there.
Oh, Walt's frozen head is there.
The fucking Lincoln thing at Disneyland is there. The big animatronic Lincoln, he's there. Okay, they have a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And they have a list of all the fucking Disney animated stuff.
Yeah.
And it's in order of what they want to reboot to live action first.
Yeah.
In terms of priority. You know what I mean? So what was the first big live action reboot? Was it Cinderella?
I think it was Cinderella, and then the Jungle Book was the next.
It was pretty close.
Big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have Cinderella, Jungle Book. I know fucking Beauty and the Beast came pretty closely after. I think that was pre-pandemic, Beauty and the Beast. All those big boys, right? Now let's pretend you're looking at the bottom of the list.
Yes.
Do you think at the bottom, is it either Home on the Range or Black Cauldron? Or if they're not at the way bottom, what's lower?
I'm looking at my list right now on Letterboxd when I rewatched all of the Disney movies. The Disney
because you
animated
ranked
features.
them, right?
Yeah. And at the bottom, I have Home on the Range. And if I'm being
it is
honest,
goody last.
I think that might be the one of the last, if not the last one that they would consider for live action. But then I'm also thinking about it, and I'm okay, dinosaurs at the bottom for me, but I could see why they would do that.
They would totally do that.
And technically it was semi-live action because it was 3D animation. You could argue. But if we're talking about remaking it, right? I could see them doing that above Home on the Range. Black Cauldron, I think weirdly, might have an audience enough, a weird cult audience enough to where they would do it above Home on the Range. I feel Home on the Range gets forgotten about.
Well, not me. I'm not part of that audience. Fuck Black Cauldron.
Right. But
It's the worst movie ever made.
Then there's the Donald Duck, Three Caballeros stuff where it's they could do that in live action. I think it would look weird as fuck. I don't think they would ever do
true.
their main characters in live action, like Mickey, Donald,
Like
Goofy.
Mickey and Minnie and
Yeah,
stuff.
so like in terms of like actual like bottom of the list, I think it would be anything with those characters.
I guess that's probably true,
But
isn't
then
it?
Home on the Range, and then maybe Black Cauldron.
Okay, as someone who's never seen it, but I'm gonna defend it regardless, even though I'm just pulling all this out of my ass. What is so bad about Home on the Range?
I just okay. I didn't like the way it looked. I thought the visuals were not really great, and then also the story is so nothing that I was like, it's just so forgettable that I was. By the time I was done with it, I was like, did I even watch a movie? Like, did I actually even watch this? Like, it felt like the character development was just nothing.
Wait, it's from 2004?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was like from the 60s?
No, this is what
No
I'm saying. Like the
shit.
visuals, it's like that weird era of animation where it just looks terrible. And
Okay, I'm just gonna be honest.
yes,
Again, I've never seen it, so this is just coming from stills, right? I want to make that very clear. But I'm looking at a couple stills, and I'm like, dog, this looks like your fucking Emperor's New Groove.
in some ways I do agree,
Right?
but
It does.
I think because of the specific characters in this movie, on top of the plot line, that's just like, I forget even what it was. Like, that's how out I was. But it was just like, oh, the cows are gonna be fucking slaughtered, and what if they're not? It's almost like they tried to do Chicken Run, but like took all the emotion out of it.
I'm about to say, it sounds like Chicken Run.
Yeah. But I don't know.
You know
There was
what?
just something about it. And to be fair, maybe I rewatch it and I'm like, oh, I was wrong. Because that's happened multiple times on this show. It's like, I don't give a movie enough credit, and then I rewatch it and I'm like, oh, it was actually pretty good. But from what I remember, I just was like, it was such a nothing burger of a movie that I was like, I don't think this is for me.
All I know is that I haven't seen it, but just looking at the stills, it looks fucking brilliant, dude. It
All right,
looks
now you're
so
just
much
rage
better
baiting.
than
Now you're
Black-
just rage baiting.
It looks so much better than Black Cauldron.
No, Black Cauldron looks good.
No, I mean not like the animation. I mean
Yeah.
like the quality.
Oh, sure. Like the story.
Okay, and I will say, and not I was hoping this would go the opposite way, but I can't lie. Black Cauldron, I famously never lie on the show. Black Cauldron has a 57% Rotten Tomatoes. Home on the Range has a 51.
Yeah.
So they are actually pretty close.
And look up stills from Black Cauldron. There's some cool images.
No, I don't even want Google to know I looked this up. I'll do it in an incognito.
Dude, it's cool. I'm telling you.
Okay, wait, I'm looking. Wait,
The
there's a
movie
skeleton
sucks.
with like,
yes.
oh, fuck.
Yes.
Fuck.
I'm telling you, it's actually cool.
No, I refuse to admit this is a good movie.
No, I'm not saying it's a good movie. I'm saying that it's a bad movie. But I'm saying the visuals are cool sometimes.
Okay, the visuals do kind of
They're
look
pretty
kinda
fucking
sick.
sick, right?
Either way, when I do my Disney ranking, fuck the Black Cauldron. I stand by it.
All right, you're gonna do like all of them except that.
Except I hate
But
it. I have a vendetta.
I know.
No.
The, like, completer brain inside of you is gonna be like, if I'm doing all of them, I have to watch it.
You know, okay, you know what? How about this? You know me. I'm gonna watch all the Disney movies. And between the two of us, I'll most definitely watch the Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
I'll never admit it until the last Greenlit episode ever. And then I'll finally reveal my thoughts on the Black Cauldron.
Okay.
It'll be a secret. It'll be an
with me.
industry secret.
All right, I'll cut this out and we'll save it for the last episode.
Yeah, no, you can keep it in.
Okay, perfect.
It's a Quaywood secret. I want people to know, though. It's like the most open kept secret of all time.
Okay, perfect.
But actually, I've seen the Black Cauldron like 20 times. It's my favorite Disney movie.
yeah.
I love it. Okay, well, okay. Home on the Range is probably not going to be turned into live action. How
Right.
far up on the
Listen.
list do you think Black Cauldron is?
I don't think it's that high up, to be fair.
You don't?
No. I think they have a long list of live action ones that they're going to do before Black Cauldron. Like, I
Okay.
think it's in the... So they have, what, about like 60 to 65 feature-length movies just from Disney Animations.
Yeah.
Right? I think that they have done, what, probably 10, like, major ones, maybe 12 major ones so
Live
far.
action?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably double digits at this point.
So we have about like just roughly like 50 more movies.
Yeah,
I
we're
would
only
say
1/6
it's in
of
the
the way.
bottom, like it's in the bottom 20.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, question.
I don't know if it's in the bottom
for
10.
Disney Boy.
Yeah.
Disney Nick, basketball Nick.
Yeah.
What do you think's more likely, Sword in the Stone or Black Cauldron?
Sword in the Stone. Easily.
Really?
Yes, 1000%.
I disagree. As someone who has not seen either. Oh, I have seen Sword in the Stone. What am I talking about? As someone who's not seen Black Cauldron, you're wrong. You're
You
so
make
wrong.
some wild claims on the show, but that was like insane. As someone who has seen neither of them, I think Black Cauldron will be worse.
I think you're incorrect. Okay, the only reason I think that is I think as long as we've been alive,
Yeah.
which, I mean, that's obviously a hyperbolic claim. I don't know if that's true. But I feel like at least in the last, like, decade.
Yeah.
Every
Famously, I've only
time-
been alive for only a decade. So
Yeah, that is true. We are famously 10
I'm turning
years old.
11 on Wednesday.
Yeah, congrats, by the way. Is as long as we've been alive, I think, at least for the last 10 years,
Yeah.
every time a King Arthur movie has come out, it's just fucking bombed at the box office.
Yeah.
They don't do, I don't know what it is, but they just don't do well.
That's fair.
So I could see Disney being like, hey, should we do Sword in the Stone? And like producers being like, fuck no, like that's gonna make no money.
That's fair, but I feel like I see clips from the Sword in the Stone more than I see Black Cauldron clips.
That's
Like I think people have
well,
more
I've never seen a
nostalgia
Black Cauldron
behind.
clip.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like
Yeah,
people have more
that's true.
nostalgia, even though there is like kind of a cult following with Black Cauldron. I feel like
Yeah.
the nostalgia is more for Sword in the Stone. So if they were down to like The Wire, and they're like, all right, we've done 40 of these live action movies. They've all made $1 billion, but no one actually likes them. Let's like, what do we have left? Scraping the bottom of the barrel here. They go, all right, Sword in the Stone, probably. But you know what? How about this? If the Black Cauldron comes out first,
Which it will.
I will buy you a new 4K steelbook of your choosing.
Done.
But that's not like limited edition, like $1,000.
Fuck.
Like reasonable.
We'll define reasonable.
You define reasonable.
Under 5 digits.
I say under.
seems reasonable.
I say under 3 digits.
Under 4, and you got yourself a
That's
deal.
crazy. All right, fine. Under 4. Under 4.
Oh, let's go. I cannot believe you agreed to that. Done.
All right, great. We'll see.
Doesn't include cents.
That's fucking insane.
You can't use that
That's fair,
against
that's fair.
me.
Okay. So with your Disney thing out of the way, what was your open season thought before we talk plot? You don't remember?
Oh, I
do
don't
you?
remember. Oh wait, no, I do remember. Okay, so when we did open season, we interviewed Matthew.
Yes.
Thank you for being on the show. Great name, by the way. And then I did open season 1 and 2 as a rewatch right before we interviewed him. Probably like a day or two before we interviewed him. But at this point, that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
If not more, to be honest. We did that interview a while ago. So you're about to do plot of open season 2. I have all my notes. I do come prepared for this show, even though I famously hate my co-host. And that's not true. I adore you to pieces. But there is a good chance that most of this episode is going to be me going, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it's going to be mostly me going, I have to take that again because I have no fucking idea what I'm reading because I haven't looked at my own notes because I forgot everything about this movie.
Hell yeah.
So, yes,
all I remember
that
is Joel
fair.
McHale's
We're
in it,
the
and he's
same
awesome.
Boat. Yes. Yeah, it is an interesting thing about replacing the cast, and you know, it was strange because I was going in being like, "Oh, Patrick Warburton's back."
Nope.
He's not.
He's not. It is. I know. Also, we talked about it with Matthew, but there was like a weird 10 to 20 minutes where I'm like, "Oh, this is a different voice cast," and it took me a second to get used to it.
Yeah, totally.
But I'll be honest, and this is kind of spoiling final thoughts a little. I actually really like the new voice cast for the most part.
I think they were great, and
Yeah,
also
genuinely.
same with the animation style. Like it was kind of a similar thing with Hoodwinked and Hoodwinked 2, where it was like they're pretty different, and like you can tell that they upgraded the visuals in a way, like
In a way,
to
yeah.
to a certain extent. But I think like it took me a minute to adjust, and this is where the similarities end with Hoodwinked and Hoodwinked 2. Where I was like, it took me a minute to adjust, and then I was like, okay, they're fine. But I think they were a lot closer in animation style than Hoodwinked and Hoodwinked 2 were.
Yeah, I
So
agree. Hoodwinked 2, my biggest memory of that is it technically was an upgrade, but like it almost lost the charm because of it. Where this, you're right, it matched the
It
original
feels
way
similar
more.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you could watch these back to back if you're like a little kid and see like no difference.
Right, totally. So,
Especially if you're like a kid and you watch the Black Cauldron like an idiot and you have no sense of quality,
watch
dude.
Beauty and the Beast as a kid, as if that's a
fucking loser.
fucking not normal thing to do. Okay, going into plot. So we open with Elliot giving a speech about his new antlers, because if we remember, at the end of the first movie, lost his antlers, and he ultimately breaks them off. He breaks them off of his head before his big wedding with Giselle.
Also, at this point in the movie, I was fucking pumped.
Oh yeah? How come?
Okay, you gotta remember, I'm not the biggest fan of the first open season.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate it or anything.
Sure.
Like, there's definitely good qualities to it. It's just not one of my favorite things
That's
we
fair.
covered on this show. And then to get into this one, and I am such a fan of Joel McHale. I love Joel McHale. I love Community. I love all the shows he's hosted. I've seen him perform comedy live, and like I think he's actually really good.
Yeah.
So I didn't know he was in this movie. And I start the movie, and Elliot starts talking. I'm like, no fucking way.
That's not the
no
other
fucking
guy.
way.
Yeah.
Is that my fucking boy?
Yeah.
And then I paused it and I Googled it. I'm like, let's fucking go,
I
dude.
feel like this happens once every like 2 to 3 episodes with you in particular. It's like
Yeah,
you
I
have
get
no
hooked
idea
up.
the cast or mostly the voice cast, and then you're like, wait a minute.
Wait a
You
minute.
do the research, and then you're like, and by the end of the episode, you're like, that was my favorite character because of this guy.
Okay, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I fucking loved Elliot in this movie. And I really didn't like him in the first one.
180.
Yeah, my biggest
'cause you
complaint with the
hated
first
him in
movie
the
was
first movie.
Elliot.
Yeah.
He was my favorite part.
Oh my god.
I loved him.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. My thoughts are mostly the same. I think he's a fun like sidekick character.
Yeah, I think he's so much better in this one.
Yeah.
And I do think, and I know I'm a fan, so obviously I'm biased. I do, not to rag on the first performance, because I don't think it was necessarily his fault, but I think it was a mix of the writing, but also Joel McHale as the voice and like the delivery he gives. It's no longer an annoying sidekick for me. Like,
Right.
he actually works in this movie, I think, way more than he did in the first one.
I completely agree, and I also think, and now to be fair, he's not in the movie nearly as much. Even like in the first
That
movie,
is
he wasn't
true.
in the movie as much. I'm not even talking about Elliot. I'm talking about Ian. That's where I was going with this. Is Ian? He isn't in the first movie a lot, but I think Patrick Warburton's delivery really sells that character a lot in the first one, and I think
I agree.
the like trying to imitate Patrick Warburton in this one was kind of rough for me, but I will say
know.
because Ian's not in the movie as much, it wasn't a huge distraction.
Yeah,
I do
I agree.
think that the Boog portion of it, because I do agree with Elliot, I think the voice performance was, I wouldn't necessarily say it was like significantly better. I know that you would probably disagree, but I think it was better enough that I was like, okay, I'm in on this character, maybe even a little bit more than the first movie. I think
Yeah.
Boog was the opposite. I think it was, but it
I'll
wasn't.
give you that.
It wasn't significant enough where I was like, I hate Boog. Like Boog is awful in this movie. But I think it was a downgrade enough to where I was like, oh, I think I just prefer, and maybe that was the animation style plus the voice cast.
Could
but
be.
I was like, Boog, I think was a little bit worse. I think Elliot was almost significantly better, and then Ian, I was like, But again, he's not in it a lot. So
I think you're right. For the most part, like, I don't think any of the new casts did bad at all.
yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, they all did great. And to be honest, even like the Patrick Warburton, I feel bad saying impersonator,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
he is doing a Patrick Warburton impression for sure. He actually does like a relatively good job.
Yeah.
It's not like super obvious that it's not him, especially if you're like a kid. You're like, oh, it sounds kind of the same.
Right.
But I do think for the most part, it does have that missing feeling to it of the original cast, except for Elliot.
Yeah.
And I think Elliot in Open Season 2 is more the main character than... I feel
Oh,
like Boog
yeah.
was really the star of Open Season 1. Elliot really gets the
Totally.
spotlight here.
Boog is in like the backseat in this one for sure.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
basically
compared
a
to
side
the other
character in this
characters.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even close. So even though like Boog and everyone was kind of a downgrade, because Elliot was the main focus, and for me they fixed that he was just this annoying character. I now liked him. Like, it kind of worked.
Yeah. Hats off.
I almost didn't mind the rest
Yeah.
of the cast because I'm like, but they're who gives a shit? Like,
Regardless of how we feel about the rest of this movie, like the fact that the team that worked on this changed this character enough, and the voice performance changed the character enough that you did a 180 about your
Complete
opinions on the
180.
character is like
I know.
far and beyond anything I would have ever hoped for this episode.
so the only reason I'm saying this is when they remake the Black Cauldron, put Joel McHale in there. It's gonna be fucking brilliant.
As every voice.
every voice.
Yeah.
And we'll direct it. We'll get Joel McHale. It'll be awesome.
And it'll be live action, and he will be live action versions of every character.
Yeah.
It'll be him just dressed up differently.
Though, if there's like I haven't seen the Black Cauldron, but one of the stills is like this big scary skeleton guy.
It's like the
There's
main
all this
villain,
like
I
green
think.
smoke around him. Can they not do that now? Because like Masters of the Universe is coming out, and that's also a live action skeleton guy.
From my memory, because again, I watched it once and I didn't like it. And it was also during the it was during the.
No,
it was
it wasn't.
Yeah. It was like right around like when the pandemic was
It's like 2022 or something, right?
Yeah. It was 2021 going into 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, it was at a point where I was like, I'm already a lot of these movies in, like to this 60 movie endeavor that I set myself up on. And I was like, I'm not really feeling this one. This one's not really great. But from what I remember, is that skeleton guy reminded me of, what's his name?
Skeletor,
Skeletor, yeah. So much that I was like, is this just him?
Is it just a ripoff?
Yeah.
So Black Cauldron was 85, and the first ever episode of He-Man was 83.
Okay.
Yeah, so Skeletor was first, but to be fair, animation takes forever, so they might have been working on it before that.
Yeah. But it is. That's so interesting that within a couple of
Skeletor
years.
did technically beat them to the punch.
Yeah. That's crazy.
See, this movie's dog shit, dude.
Okay, wait. And also, yes. So you have Black Cauldron in 85, then Great Mouse Detective in 86, which I loved. And then Oliver and Company is 88, which I also love, but I know people don't really love that one.
That's not even a real movie.
And
That's
then
not
it's
real.
Little Mermaid.
Oh, no shit.
And then it's Rescuers Down Under, then Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas.
Okay, so Black Cauldron was like basically the end right before the Renaissance hit.
Oh yeah, no, that
You had
was
like a couple after.
That was
and
like
that was it.
they call it like the Disney Dark Ages. Like that was a part of that era.
Yeah, it's because of Black Cauldron.
because of Black Cauldron.
Single-handedly.
Yeah. So
also, you made up Oliver and Company. Come on.
You never seen Oliver and Company? No way.
Billy Joel's in it?
Dude, Billy Joel has like a song in it. It's like the most famous scene in that movie.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this.
Billy Joel's like one of the main guys, I think.
Holy shit.
Maybe not one of the main guys, but he's a cat that fucking sings in the movie. And that sequence is like the most famous part of that movie. Okay, shall we continue on with Open Season 2?
Oh, yeah.
If we must. So Ian officiates the wedding. This is like one of his 30 seconds in the movie. And Elliot gets
fake
cold
Patrick
feet.
Warburton, right?
Yeah. And Elliot gets cold feet after he learns that his marriage is forever and ever and ever and ever, as he says in the movie. So Mr. Weenie finds treats that his owners left him, eats them, even though he wants to so badly resist the humans. And he gets taken back by his human owners, and Elliot rallies the gang to go find him and save him. So yes, he's doing his thing, and he gets lured in, and then our gang is like, all right, we gotta go find Mr. Weenie. And this is like the main plot of the movie.
Yeah, it's just Elliot stalling his wedding.
Yeah, pretty much. And also going to find Mr. Weenie. Like those like the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I hate to say it, is the girl he's about to marry, like, especially in the back half of the movie, is like,
Giselle?
I don't want to marry you if you're not certain, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, slow your roll, okay? You're about to marry Joel McHale.
Yeah.
I would be on my hands and knees begging, dude. Are you kidding? I mean, take all the time you want.
It's like the deer equivalent of Joel McHale.
Yeah, no, it's not even the deer equivalent. It's Joel
just
McHale.
Joel McHale.
The star
He's
community.
He's a weird deer fetish.
He's so cool. Can we just talk about Joel McHale? He's so cool.
No, let's move on from him. We know that he's awesome. But yes, that's fair. That is fair. Giselle has no reason to leave this man.
This fucking stallion. Literally.
So we cut to other campers, which is friends of Mr. Weenie's owners, and we meet Fifi and Roberto, which are two other dogs. One is poodle, and one is a basset hound. And Fifi discusses his hatred for wild animals, describing how he claims that they got him shocked by a bug zapper, and he then tries to maul a nearby rabbit until he's stopped by his owner. So again, very similar to the first open season. There is like a loose plot, and then a lot of it is like bits. And like little moments between the characters. And yes, the plot progresses, but it is such a unique Like, I don't know a lot of other movies that fall into this, like, this story structure of, like, there is a plot, but, like, you couldn't really tell if you pulled individual scenes out. Because it is, like, a lot of very particular bits and, like, comedy moments between characters.
A lot of it does feel like little short
Yeah. And it doesn't even feel like the plot progresses, but then it does, and you're like, oh, this does make sense. But, like, it's such an interesting story structure, and I don't know what other movies like that.
I don't know what happened with Open Season 2 in my viewing of it. Because honestly, I think I went in with kind of a low bar because I didn't like the first one.
Right.
I didn't hate it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Joel McHale was in this one. Otherwise, I would have been fucking pumped.
Right.
So even though in Open Season 2, just like the first one, there's a lot of like structural things with it where it's like, yeah, you're right. There are little segments that like are like I did actually find funny, but like in terms of plot, it is kind of like weirdly paced. Same with the first one. And I can admit a lot of the new voice cast, especially like with a Patrick Warburton, where it's such an iconic voice. So you're almost like doing like an impression of it. You can't. It's hard to kind of bring your own personalities or something like that.
Right.
So a lot of the voice cast, you can feel its presence, even though like the new people did like a good job. It could just be because of Joel McHale, I swear to God, but. It just, in this movie, it worked for me way more than it did in the first Open Season.
Interesting.
Like, I found it funnier. I found a lot of the character stuff, especially with Joel McHale, more engaging.
Yeah.
And, like, I was just into it more.
Yeah. That is fair, and I think it's such an interesting thing, and this is why I love the show so much, is, like, because I watched the first one...
Yeah, thank you. I came up with it.
Because I watched the first one way more as a kid...
Sure.
I was going back into the first one like, oh, I am ready for this bit that I know and this bit that I know and these things, and I'm so excited. And I watch it and I'm like, yeah, it's like a homecoming moment. I'm like, yes, this is exciting. And if you remember at the beginning of the episode how I said, like, you know, I had seen this one, but I only saw it like maybe once or twice.
Yeah, you just remember the ending sequence.
Right. And so I didn't really remember the bits as much. So when I was watching this, like the bits are funny on their own, but I didn't have as much nostalgia behind them. So when I was rewatching it, I was like, okay, I think the bits in the first one are funnier because of the nostalgia, but I don't know on like an objective level if I feel that way. So that is such an interesting thing.
Because even like the scene you were just, this is why I interjected when I did, is the scene where, what's the dog that gets stolen again?
Mr. Weenie.
Mr. Weenie. Why'd you say it like that? Mr. Weenie.
Mr. Weenie.
Mr. Weenie. So when Mr. Weenie gets stolen... And like the first scene where he's talking to all the other like domesticated animals.
Yeah.
And the one guy's like, yeah, man, I went outside once. And like I went to the wild. And then when you see the actual scene, it's just not the wild at all.
Right.
I'm like, that's a funny bit.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, like just to play with the difference between wild animals and like domesticated animals and like I don't know, there was like genuinely really smart jokes in here.
It is a very fun concept, especially when you get into like the concept of the domesticated versus wild animals.
Yeah,
because it's like I would never have thought based on the first movie to pivot in that direction of like have because like they touch on it like a lot of the morals and theming of Open Season. The first one is that exact thing is like, do you domesticate an animal that should be out in the wild, right?
Yeah.
But like they didn't really play into it as like literally, and then now they're going into like, okay, you have this dog that was a big part of the first one. How can we play into that more? And I think it works really well. Like,
I agree. I think it's the strongest stuff in this movie.
Cool. Yeah. And it's interesting
besides
that like
Joel McHale,
to get to that, they start with this weird wedding sequence that just goes awry, and then like that's the emotional ending is like, oh, he finally got married, and it's like that's not what this movie was about at all.
No, but and again, I admit I'm biased here, but I do for that fucking sexy beast Joel McHale. But I do like Elliot's arc in this movie as well.
Oh yeah, totally.
Even though like you're right, the beginning. And then for the rest of the movie, it's not like super connect. I mean, they do bring it back up, and they have nice scenes. But I like the idea of right before a wedding, kind of getting cold feet and getting a little freaked out, and having to like come to terms with forever, being like, actually, wait, no, I am really happy and excited for this, and it was great. It was such a feel good little story.
Yeah.
And then again, all like the difference between domesticated animals and wild animals, and that being the main focus of like most of the bits. Not all of them, to be fair, but most of the bits. I'm like, this is working for me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I think it's great how everything came together, and I'm sad that it didn't get a theatrical release in the United States because I would have totally seen this. So moving on, Giselle confronts Elliot about him getting cold feet, and he, kind of gives her the runaround. And this is, as we just mentioned, kind of a few times where it comes back. They mention it, and then they kind of continue with the dog storyline, and then it comes in at the end. They find Mr. Weenie and try to break him free from his kidnapping, and they get him out of his collar, but he doesn't escape, and Buddy is taken as well. This is the little porcupine guy. Buddy.
Oh, and this scene freaking pissed me off.
Yeah.
I know I'm just praising this movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, again, I was really kind of surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
But there's the scene where they go to like rescue Mr. Weenie from the car, and they're like in the car and they're all like jumping out the window. And I couldn't tell you why. I don't know. Like, I know the production for this was very short. They didn't have a lot of time. But I'm like, they're pretending like a dog can't jump out of a window. Like, he just, like, they all jump out and he's like, oh, I don't know what to do.
But he's Mr.
I'm like,
Weenie.
dogs can jump,
but
dog.
he has little tiny legs.
No, dogs, fuck you.
No,
dogs
he can't.
have the ability to jump.
Have you seen a wiener dog?
Have you seen The Black Cauldron? Don't make me bring it up.
You haven't, and you know what? There's a wiener dog in there, and he can't jump, and it's
Yeah,
more.
I know.
It's
That's
more
why that
real.
movie's fucking garbage.
No, it's more real.
No, it's not. It sucks. It sucks donkey dick, dude. I watched that fucking... It's the only scene I've ever seen. It's this fucking skeleton wiener dog, and he can't even jump. What a fucking loser.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, that's fair, but you got to keep the story progressing. You got to see, and also, I am defending it because I don't think of any dog type, of any dog breed, I don't think that wiener dogs have the ability to jump as much as other ones.
Not as much, but they can still jump.
He's like a little T-Rex with his little arms. He's like, he can't
Dude,
do
someone
anything.
I own a wiener dog. I've seen him jump.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I own one.
Yeah, what's his name?
Joel.
Yeah, Joel McHale. Fucking
Joel
asshole.
Cauldron, baby.
But yes.
You met him.
So, right.
You came to visit me. I have a wiener. I got him right after you left, I think.
Oh, but I met him?
Yeah.
All right,
worry
moving
about
on. So, Buddy is taken as well on accident because obviously he's stuck to the door, makes for a little funny bit. So the gang game plans, and Giselle and Elliot continue to fight. So Mr. Weenie and his owners, along with Buddy, arrive at the resort. This resort that they go to every summer, and Mr. Weenie gets a shock collar.
Here we go. This is Nick's favorite part of the movie.
Just the colors and the slides and the dynamic movement throughout, and all the characters just on like summer vacation. We're in the summer fucking sequels, baby. The suns are out, guns are out, the dogs are out. Some of them can't jump, but we're all going in the pool. Are you kidding me? It's incredible. So the mallards, the little duck guys that have gone through like the Vietnam War, see where.
Wait, what?
Do you not remember this
What
from
the
the first
fuck
movie?
are you talking about? No.
You remember this? One of them has like PTSD.
There's veteran ducks?
Yeah, one of the ducks is like he has like PTSD from being in like the Vietnam War or something like that.
What the fuck?
He was like in a war, and he's like not really. He doesn't talk a lot because he has like trauma.
This was in the first one?
Yes.
The first one's garbage,
No.
dude. What the fuck is this?
So the mallards see where Weenie is and report the info back to Boog and Elliot. So Fifi, if you remember the little fluffy domesticated dog, is upset that Weenie is friends with wild animals, and Boog and the gang set out to find Mr. Weenie yet again, because obviously they keep making these attempts and maybe succeeding and then failing, or just straight up failing. So Buddy saves Mr. Weenie from an interrogation from Fifi in an attempt to prove that he is a domestic animal, and Fifi declares war on the wild animals. Just all out war.
This is insane.
Yeah.
Because, this last sequence I do actually think is very fun. Mm-hmm. And I could see how little Nick, who thought the fucking Black Cauldron was good like an idiot, liked it. But you have the domesticated animals that declare war on the wild animals. Can we just acknowledge the fact that one team has a fucking bear on it? Are you out of your mind?
Boog can just like sit on them. It's
Game over.
Pretty sure he does that in the first movie. Like he just sits on some of the humans as they're fighting.
Yeah.
And they're humans with guns.
There's a reason that in this movie they like keep Boog in the fucking car. Because if you had a bunch of tiny little dogs
Throw 'em
versus
to
a
the side.
fucking brown bear, it's over. The movie's over. All your characters die.
You destroy them. So
They literally get mauled.
yes.
Like there's no movie.
No, absolutely. So it was smart for them to not have him just go
Like,
ape
what?
shit.
What the fuck?
Do what a bear does. So Boog and Giselle share s'mores and talk about how Elliot is meant for Giselle, but maybe sometimes he doesn't express how he feels properly. And we cut to Elliot.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this was honestly the scene that got me. Because in the beginning, I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like my open season. There were some moments where I was like, all right, this is funny bits. But I was like, I don't know. And then this scene, I was like, oh, it all came together.
Yeah, all the
And then
Elliot
like
stuff
from here to
Jenkins is
the
great.
end, I was like, all right, I'm in on the Elliot stuff. I'm in on the Mr. Weenie stuff. I really liked how it all like tied up, which we'll get to. But
I agree.
yeah, I was super in after really this sequence. So we cut to Elliot. And he clearly regrets his decision for calling off the wedding. He's having regrets about getting cold feet. And he was like, man, like I shouldn't have done that. So Boog, Giselle, McSquizzy, which is one of the squirrel guys, the like leader, the Scottish guy, and the Mallards
right.
sneak into Pet Paradiso. This is the water slide place. To find Weenie. This is the resort for domestic pets and their owners to relax. Again, it's the summertime. This is a perfect movie for Summer of Sequels. I love it. So while this is happening, Elliot runs into Buddy and Mr. Weenie, and they realize they have to go stop Boog and the rest of the gang because not only is Mr. Weenie already a free dog, but the domestic animals are going to start a war with the wilds if they see them.
Which, don't do that.
No, don't. I don't think they realize what they have coming for them.
Bear. You're going to lose.
Yeah. So McSquizzy and Giselle snoop around in new looks. They are dressed as dogs, even though, again, you have a fucking 1,000-pound brown bear walking around. I wouldn't be like, oh, that's just like Marmaduke. No, I would be like, that's a bear.
Well, also, okay, I think Elliot, I'm not Elliot. Fuck me. Boog.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about Elliot. Boog. My memory is that they paint Boog as like a cat first.
Yeah.
And he's like in the orange and black stripes. And at first I'm like, oh, that's a little funny. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, that's an 1,000-pound bear. Dude, there's no way.
No, not even close. Yeah.
But you know what?
But I think it's funny because it's like the bit works because they're animals and they're thinking about it from like the animal perspective of like, oh, we could just dress up as like other animals and like
And it'll work.
The humans would never think anything different. Like I think
Also,
that works.
it's I could be wrong, but in my notes this is how I wrote it, so I think this is how it happened. But he was painted like a cat, and I'm like, that's a bear. Come on now, that's a bear, dude. And then I think like the cat thing, not that it doesn't work, but the next time we see Boog, he's now dressed like a sheepdog.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's not much better.
No, and this is what I was saying is like, regardless of how he dresses up, it's not gonna work. But it's funny because they would never know that. Right?
See, you know what? This movie's brilliant.
I think it genuinely rocks. So, yes, they are soon caught by the domestic animals, and Fifi at this point is fired up for revenge.
Yeah, they're ready for murder.
Yeah, well, especially Fifi has like the most amount of passion I've ever seen from any character ever. Like just like so ready to just get out there and just start slaughtering other animals. So Elliot joins back up with Boog and they successfully sneak into the resort with Elliot dressing up as a human woman. And Elliot gets captured.
What's the problem?
No problem here. So Elliot gets captured. Mr. Weenie starts to fall victim to all the amenities of the resort. And Boog's disguise washes off. And oh my god, he's a bear. And he gets found out by all the people at the resort, and they start shooting at him.
Oh yeah, and he starts like killing people. Yeah. He starts murdering actual people.
Yeah. So Elliot confesses his love for Giselle, and before Fifi can kill them, Boog comes barreling in on the water slide and saves them. Again, just the sequence on the water slides. Man, it's fantastic.
Did you only like this as a kid because you just wanted to ride the water slide?
Maybe, but I don't know if it was like I remembered this sequence because the water slide. It was like a lot of colors in the water slide, so it was like visually different enough from the rest of open season
that it just
I was
stood
like,
out.
Yeah, it just stood out, and I was like, oh, it's my favorite characters in a new setting. So yay!
I guess that could be
It's
true.
almost like
That's
thinking
fair.
about Madagascar, and I'm like, you remember that one sequence where like they're in the circus or whatever, or like
Obviously, come on now.
Yeah, but it's like that sticks out to me more than almost anything else because it's just different.
That's true. Visually, it is very
Yeah.
different. That is true. I'll give you that.
So who knows if that scene holds up as much as this one, but this one I can confirm was very fun. So Mr. Weenie's owners find out that he is at the resort and they rush to go get him. And in the meantime, as they do this, they blow up a gas station. So they are now war criminals.
Yeah, they are.
A very quick final battle happens, significantly quicker than the first movie, even though the first movie also was pretty quick. From
Well,
what I
allegedly, their budget was $60K, so
Right.
I can't say I blame them.
So Fifi gets shocked, and all the gunmen, security guys at the resort end up being defeated. And the domestic and wild animals agree to live in harmony, with Weenie choosing to live with his owners. Elliot and Giselle get married. Everyone sings, and all is well in the world. And that is Open Season 2.
Well, I'm a little upset that Joel McHale is no longer single by the end of this movie.
Right,
But that was kind of like my biggest
Is
complaint.
he married in real life?
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Damn it.
I know, it's fucked up.
That's fair. But yes, going into final thoughts. I'll start with you because I think you had more of like a coming to Jesus moment with this movie than I did. So let's hear your final thoughts.
Okay. Final thoughts. Again, to be fair, big Joel McHale fan, and I went in with a relatively low bar because I really am not the biggest fan of the first open season. I just don't think it holds up very well.
fair.
You know what I mean? I think it's like a very fine 2000s kids movie. I was very pleasantly surprised at how I enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
It's still not like one of my favorite movies we've ever covered on this show.
Sure.
Like if you had to rank all the Greenlit stuff, this is probably like right in the middle, maybe like it's probably above 50% for sure.
I mean, yeah, we've done 75 episodes at this point. So
Yeah,
it's like, that's fair.
exactly. So like it's definitely in the top half, but you know, it's not like my favorite thing.
Sure.
But I think the new voice cast for the most part, they do their best, but I do think Joel McHale genuinely brought a very different energy to a character that I didn't like. And because of it, it made that character really work for me.
Yeah.
And he also is the main character of this movie. So I think if he didn't work in this one like he didn't work in the first one, I would have really suffered for this movie.
Yeah.
But I think he really brought something. The jokes, for the most part, I think are clever. I like it. The emotional arc, there's enough of one that I was in. And yeah, I had a good time with this. Like, I enjoyed this.
Same. I my first note in final thoughts is what a wild ride, because genuinely like at first I was like, again, like I said earlier, like, oh, this isn't my open season. Again, I had such insane nostalgia for the first one that I was like, I don't know if anything could like top it. And then as the thing progressed and I got used to the animation shift and the voice character shift, the voice acting shift, and the more time went on, and especially after that scene that I mentioned earlier, I was like, oh man, I was like totally in. Like the bits were working, and it had this like a very similar like hang out and have some fun with the characters that you love kind of bits throughout, like the first one did, and some like I just needed from an open season movie. So it held up to me from what I remember, especially that goddamn water slide sequence. And yeah, it's similar to you. Like I had a great time with it. I had a lot of fun with it. It's not my favorite movie we've ever covered, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a fun time.
It's a surprisingly pretty solid sequel.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So
and I think you said it. You're like, this isn't my open season. I'm like, yeah, that's why I liked it.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, honestly.
Before we go into our final thought, let's do our ranking system. So,
oh yeah,
dude, every fucking time.
Every time
you go, oh yeah, you came up with this. I've just now implemented it into the notes.
I know, I appreciate it.
So to remind not only my co-host here, but the rest of the audience listening to the show.
Yeah, how's it work again?
We have a ranking system. Basically, instead of doing 5 stars, we do it if we buy it on 4K Steelbook, which is number 1. Buy it secondhand, which is number 2. Stream it, which is number 3, and then never watch it again, which is 4.
Never watch it again.
Yeah. So I'll start with you. Where would you put this on your rankings?
I would buy this and get it signed by Joel McHale. That's what I would do.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I'd make it my excuse to meet him.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
okay.
oh, well, my favorite movie ever.
I like that. Considering this was direct to DVD. Oh, go.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
True. It
yeah.
is direct to DVD. Okay, you know what though? Okay, it was direct to DVD and it came out in 2008.
Yeah.
So, you could probably only buy it on sale.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was going to put it regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would buy this on sale. I think everything else so far, I've said I would only stream it.
Yeah.
I would buy this on
I
sale.
will say, there's one coming up. I think it's our first 4K Steelbook.
Oh, well, you know what? I also have one coming up.
Yeah.
I think we have the same movie, dog.
I think we do. So, okay. One final thought on Open Season 2.
I can't believe this got greenlit.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Summer of Sequels. Thank you again to Matthew O'Callahan for giving us some of his time and all of his insights on the movie that we talked about today. Yes.
I really thought you were about to say thank you to Matthew Pelton, and I was so excited. I'm like, whoa.
You didn't let me get there.
Yeah, what the hell? Like, I've never gotten
to
a
Matthew
thank you at the
O'Callahan
end.
for being our guest on the show. Thank you to Matthew Pelton for being an amazing co-host as always.
You're welcome.
Even though with every episode, I feel like you come from my throat more and more. No,
Correct.
I'm kidding. Thank you to our audience for listening to our show and continuing to support and also loving the summer sequels, even though I haven't heard anyone's feedback yet because our episodes just started coming out.
It's fine.
Stay tuned for more fun guests and crazy sequels, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
See ya.
This has been a Quaywood audio production.